Hi folks, I just wanted to say thank you for the support on the last video that I posted. I know that I seemed a bit defensive, and it did seem like most people who clicked like because they were supporting me. So I really do appreciate that. I'm sorry that I was a bit skeptical. I have been through some pretty bad experiences with hatefulness in the past, and it's been really hurtful because I've always been, a genuine, direct person, and I'm not perfect, but I'm a good person, and I've experienced a lot of hate. I mean, I also have experienced a lot of support and love, so I just want to point that out. But the people that have hated on me, they've hated on me really hard and said terrible things that sometimes were just hard to ignore. I know that people say ignore it, but it's just like, why, say stuff like that without knowing me? Again, making up a narrative about who I am and what my life is like without seeing what my life is actually like on a daily basis. My life is really hard. And right now, my life is harder than it's ever been with this neck issue. So I just want to give a little bit of an update on that. I'm going to get some new imaging soon, and that way it can be compared to the imaging that I got in 2018. And I'm going to send that to a radiologist, or a neuroradiologist rather, in Scotland. And he's going to review it, and then I'll have a report that I can present to try and get out of country care funding for the surgery. Or crowdfund for it. I really don't know if that could possibly work if they won't do the out of country thing, but it's just that I really need this surgery, and I think I have a shot at the out of country thing if I make my case really strong. And I'd like to point out that I was neglected for a few years, and then that led to this problem, I believe, in part because of that neglect and lack of treatment. So that needs to be taken into consideration, because it's proven now that I'm sick. I've, multiply proved it with tests and imaging that, is positive that I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. There's no way I can fake it. It's the way my body is. It's in my body. And speaking of that, I think I'm really sensitive to the faker thing because of what I went through. Obviously, you know, um, I just feel so strongly about that kind of abuse being, like standing up against it, because it happens to a lot of chronically ill people all the time, and it's just unacceptable. And like when people are saying they're ill and lacking energy and stuff, like most people don't want to live like that, right? They don't have a choice, and that's why they like just support them. Just have compassion. It's hard enough living like this, and to be treated that way because we don't look obviously sick kind of thing is just so wrong. It's definitely an age thing too, like being young and you know, using a cane when you are young and you look young. Like people sometimes get really xenophobic about that. Like I said in my cane phobia video. Anyway, I kind of went on a tangent there, but yeah, I hope to get this new imaging. I'll have to go to a small city in interior BC called Kamloops for that. It's the only place that has an upright MRI. And with this new imaging, I hope to, I need to know as well, like how I'm doing with the neck, like how much worse did it get? It certainly feels like it's gotten worse over the past 3 years. But I want to know exactly how much, and, am I in danger, or is it just, yeah, like to what degrees? And I would really like to consult with some neurosurgeons after that. Like there's one that I feel quite good about, or there's a couple that I feel quite good about. And I'd like to consult with them and show them the findings and stuff. I also have a consult booked with Regenex, the stem cell procedure that goes into the neck. They inject it, and it's supposed to heal the ligaments. I'm not sure if I'm a candidate for that, but I'm trying to find that out right now. I'm meeting with that doctor in December. So anyway, I'm just kind of rambling. I'm really working on things, fighting for my life, and I'm sensitive right now because it is hard. And I really appreciate the support from people. I appreciate that you were compassionate about me having to not, or having to opt out of the modeling. You know, I just can't, go somewhere and be treated like an able-bodied person because I'm invisibly disabled and they don't know about my neck, or say that and weigh down the entire production. Like, I couldn't be upright for very long without feeling a bad headache and unwell and dizzy, vertigo. Like, it's just not possible, and it is kind of like a knife in the heart for sure. But I do want to freelance model from home for my Instagram, and I hope to do more of that. I've been doing some of that. So sometimes with this on and sometimes not, depending on my day. But I do want to do a bit of that just for fun and just to keep the hope going that I'm doing stuff in my life. And, I'm advocating for myself and advocating for others with my condition and fighting for my life. And also advocating for neurodiverse people and how we communicate a little bit differently, and how sometimes that's treated poorly and not taken into consideration as well. Because when we're neurodiverse but subtle, like I said in my other video, if it's just subtle, it tends to be misjudged as other things rather than recognizing that it's neurodiversity, and that it's on the autistic spectrum and the person has a little bit of a different way of communicating. And so the person is judged as like weird or rude or odd, like lying or whatever. And so there needs to be more awareness that perhaps that person is neurodiverse, So, and that relates to medical care because like neurodiverse people get quite neglected by doctors because of the challenges with communicating our symptoms and our experience, and doctors usually don't have any training or awareness about neurodiversity, and they judge that, and then they don't provide the tests and the care, and it's actually really kind of dangerous for us, unless we can get a good doctor that understands, that at least understands that person's a bit quirky and different, but they're genuine and they're having this experience. They're not lying about it or exaggerating it or whatever. It's hard to find doctors who really kind of look through their fingers and see the person, like the human being, and just listen and examine. And, that's what they should do regardless of how their persona is. But don't get me started. I mean, doctors are the way they are. Kind of a rambly video. Just wanted to say thank you for the support. I guess I mostly misunderstood that people were clicking like because they were supporting me for the most part. And if there were a couple that were hating on me, then whatever. Like, that's on them, right? It says way more about them than it does about me. And I know I've said that it's been hurtful in the past, but I'm working on letting it go because it only hurts me. I'm going through a lot and I'm a good person, so to hate on me just shows more about them. I'm trying to fight for my life and progress with the next stuff and find my way to a fusion surgery somehow. And I'm, in the meantime, going to keep advocating as I'm able to with the capacity that I have. So